What's up, y'all? Welcome into the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. I'm Lang Whitaker alongside Michael Wallace. We are courtside here at FedEx Forum for the 8-6 Memphis Grizzlies tonight against the 7-5 Denver Nuggets. And it's not just any game tonight, Michael. It's the NBA Cup is tonight.
No.
The Emirates NBA Cup.
The NBA,
that's right.
yes, the Emirates NBA Cup.
Yeah.
Emirates NBA Cup.
So that's tonight. The Grizzlies have yet to win a game in the NBA Cup. 0-5 career franchise for the last year and a half, 2 years. So tonight's the Grizzlies' chance to try to make that up against this Denver team. The same team they played 48 hours ago, the team they beat 105-90. A game that the Grizzlies pretty much controlled after about 6 minutes into it. For the rest of the game, Denver made a little run there at the end. But Denver tonight still without Nikola Jokic, still without Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
And a Grizzlies team that has seen what they can offer, but it's hard to beat the team twice in the regular season back-to-back.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the Grizzlies are going to be a little bit more show-handed, too. I mean, you talked about who Denver's going to be without. The Grizzlies are going to be without Zach Edey. And Coach Taylor Jenkins just told us momentarily a few moments ago that Zach is now week to week. He's able to put some weight on that ankle that he sprained at midway through Sunday's game. But, he's going to be out for the next couple games as well. So it's going to be interesting. I do think the Grizzlies found a formula. If they can move the ball, and do what they did in terms of sharing the ball the way they did and dominating the paint, I think they have a chance to basically repeat what we saw Sunday night.
I just got a tweet as you were talking. Marcus Smart also out tonight. He was listed as questionable or doubtful with an illness. Yeah. He's still out tonight.
And he missed Sunday as well, so he hasn't played in either of these series.
The Grizzlies had a big game from Jaren, 20-6. 31 assists on 41 field goals against that Denver team. Like you said, the ball was moving.
Yes.
They were getting open looks. It's just a matter of knocking down those shots.
Yeah.
Jaren's been awesome. I think we talked about the other night about how it's partly because last season he got a lot of opportunities to kind of be that A1 option the whole game.
The whole season.
The whole second half of the season, yes. And we saw him start to get to the basket. Devin, our colleague, tweeted here, last 6 games for Tripp. All-star level numbers for Jaren. He's been awesome, and I think the Grizzlies, what do they say, feed him and fan him when he's hot? Like right now, this feels like the time. You just got to keep riding Jaren the way he's playing.
And you know what, Lang? I think, although those numbers speak for themselves. I mean, I would go a step above that. I would say those are all NBA numbers based on what we're seeing from Jaren Jackson Jr., particularly as a power player in this league. But the thing about Jaren is that they don't seem like breakout numbers. Yeah. They just seem like he's showing up to the office and putting in a day's work. Yeah. Right? Like he understands what his matchups are. He understands now, okay, this is my time during the game where my team needs to come to me. Yeah. And the guys are finding him when it's his turn. And, Jaren is being assertive, but he's also understanding how to read a game, too. I just see it as a level of physical maturity in his body filling out. Yeah. And also the professional maturity of knowing who he is and where he is in the lineup.
He doesn't take bad shots.
Doesn't take bad. He's very efficient.
Yeah. Right. I also, the other night, I sat courtside down here, and it's the first time in a year or two, and I was able to hear Jaren defensively just be that quarterback, like calling out coverages, calling out who should swing to where and all this stuff. Yeah. Like you don't see that on TV. It's hard to see it unless you're down close to the court like we are right now. But Jaren is really, I feel like, taking on that role. He was pumping guys up. He was saying, like, come on, this is all that matters. Play defense. Yeah. He was really buying into that, and I think that's sort of infectious with these teammates, too.
No, it is. It is. He knows that that's the side of the floor where he needs to be the most assertive on the defensive side. We're talking about just 2 seasons removed from Defensive Player of the Year, right? And he really couldn't do that last year because he had to focus so much on being the offense night in and night out. But now, I was talking to Jaren on the West Coast the other night, and he said that this is the time that he's put both aspects of his game together. Some parts of his game from the 2 years ago as Defensive Player of the Year, and some other parts what we saw in terms of his most productive offensive season. It's coming together now, and fortunately for Jaren, it's with a winning team right now, and the Grizzlies are finding some success.
And they've found success on offense, like we talked about. They've looked great offensively. There were some questions going into this year. How would the new offense, how would they adapt? How would they figure it out? Would they be able to kind of find their places? It's looked great. Here's some numbers. Listen to this. According to NBA.com, Grizzlies have averaged 60 points in the paint, which would be the highest mark in the 29 seasons that shot location has been tracked. Okay. Their point differential, points in the paint differential, plus 13 per game, would be the second biggest in 30 years. Wow. They are dominating in the paint and dominating other teams in the paint, which means they're playing good defense in the paint also. Yeah. But they're getting those points in the paint. Also, 4th overall in pace, 2nd in points in the paint, 7th in offensive rating, 5th in assist ratio. Yep. You can run down the numbers, but I think more than anything, it passes the eye test to me.
Yes, it does. It passes the eye test. And the most incredible thing about all those numbers you read is that we still have yet to see multiple games with Ja, Jaren, Dez, Marcus, right? And what you're seeing is, and you didn't even talk about the bench, but the bench production, the Grizzlies are top 3 in the league in bench production too. So they're getting it all throughout the lineup when you talk about guys that are coming in, whether they're starters like Scottie Pippen Jr. is now because of Ja's injury, or whether you're getting production off the bench from some other guys. So no matter where the Grizzlies have looked, Santi Aldama has led this team in minutes. You know, you just look up and down, how many different leading scorers have the Grizzlies had? How many different leaders and assists have they had? You have multiple games with multiple guys in double figures as well too. It's all hands on deck and they're delivering.
We have some clip here of the other night, Luke Kennard in the locker room after the game talking about how much fun it is to be out on the court and to see this offense humming the way it's been humming so far this season.
Maybe a little bit, but you know, it's just part of the offense. You know, everybody kind of gets an opportunity to put the ball on the floor a little bit more, and when you're playing like that, everybody's touching the ball, sharing the ball. It kind of gives everybody, you know, a rhythm to the game, and you know, it gives you a little confidence out there to make a play. So we know where each other's going to be on the floor. So when I drive, I kind of know where each guy's going to be. So a lot of trust in what we got going out there on the offensive end, and you know, just always trust the guys to be there, and you know, appreciate those guys for knocking down shots and getting me a few assists. So.
The offense has looked awesome. The Grizzlies sort of get a little bit of an assist tonight from the Nuggets, who are going to be without Nikola Jokic again, like we mentioned. Jokic has been awesome for the Nuggets this year. I gave a tweet to Kyra. With him on the court, they have the best offensive rating in NBA history. With him off the court, it's one of the worst offensive ratings in NBA history. He changes the game for them. And without him, we saw at the end of the game the other night, the Nuggets went to that kind of smaller lineup and were able to find a little bit of success down the stretch. And Taylor Jenkins mentioned that is something maybe the Grizzlies would keep an eye on for tonight as a possible adjustment from Denver.
Well, we're seeing the reason why this guy is a multiple-time MVP in this league. I mean, that tells you right there what this team is with him and what this team is without him. And again, he's missing time for personal reasons. You know, by this point, I'm sure the rumors and speculation is already out there. From everything I'm hearing, he's welcoming a new addition to the family. I'll just leave it at that and let him announce it the way he wants to announce it. But, you know, you certainly understand when a guy needs to take some time away. But he was just starting to put up MVP-type numbers. They had won 5 straight games, and now they hit a little bit of a slide. But, yeah, Taylor Jenkins knows that this team is a different monster to defend and to tackle when, you know, Nikola is out there and when he's not out there. What you now want to see is Jaren Jackson Jr., you know, become that kind of monster in a game like this where nobody on the other side can stop him.
Right now, Jokic is averaging more points per game than Shaq's best season, more rebounds per game than Tim Duncan's best season, and more assists per game than Chris Paul's best season.
Get that dude some help.
Yeah, well,
you know what I'm saying?
Not tonight.
Because he's having to do everything.
We need the Grizzlies to get their first NBA Cup win tonight.
We definitely need that.
We're going to take a quick break. John Roser is going to join us on the other side of this break. You're watching the warm-up show here on Grind City Media.
Who will lead the Grizz in steals this season?
I'm going to go with Pippen for steals this season.
So I'm going to go with Jaren.
I'm going to go, as long as he's in the rotation, I'm going to go Jake LaRavia for total steals, and I'll have Marcus Smart in my back pocket for steals per game.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
We didn't talk about owling, and you're telling me you didn't know owling?
What the hell is an owling?
Owling is worse than Tebowing.
What is an owling?
How far can Kyra zoom out on this camera?
She can zoom all the way out.
Can she zoom out?
What are you doing?
I'm owling.
Okay. Wait, why were we doing this? What is that?
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Justin Timberlake. I'm bringing sexy back. The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now. For more, hit up justintimberlake.com.
D'Anthony Melton took my boys, my little guys, to the ice cream stand. He was like, I'm going to get ice cream. You want to go with? So he took my little guys to the ice cream stand. So, you know, guess who their favorite player is now? John Morant. But outside of that, DeAnthony Melton's pretty high up on the list. How about this? We got used small DeAnthony Melton jerseys at our house right now. Love DeAnthony Melton. That was a fun night.
It was a fun night, man.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back to the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. I'm Lang Whitaker, joined now by John Roser. We're courtside here at FedEx Forum. The Grizzlies getting ready to take on the Denver Nuggets in a little NBA Cup action. Grizzlies won 4 in a row at home, trying to make it 5 in a row tonight. We were both here the other night when the Grizzlies played that shorthanded Nuggets team. It's the same shorthanded Nuggets team tonight. Give me a matchup you're going to have your eye on tonight. You think that's something that could give the Grizzlies a key to success?
I mean, obviously, I think the Scottie Pippen Jr. against Jamal Murray matters a ton. Murray's, his points per game are there, but the percentages have not been there. I think we 1 of 6 from 3 just the other day. The other one, I think, for the Grizzlies, just a player, I think Desmond Bane. He had 11, 11, and 7 in that game. But Dez so far in the Warriors game and that Nuggets game, he's just 2 of 11 from 3. I think Dez has to be poised for a big three-point night coming up, like one of those 6 of 8s, something like that.
I was thinking when you mentioned Pippen, Jalen Wells did such a good job sort of tag teaming with Pippen on Jamal Murray. And Taylor Jenkins said pregame, the Nuggets were trying to get Jamal Murray going and we're doing some small screens to try to get switches for guards. That would work, I guess, on some teams, but when your other option's Jalen Wells coming off that switch, that makes it pretty hard for you to score no matter who the guard is.
No, it absolutely does. It just makes it more and more difficult, and that's just kudos to the Grizzlies for the players that they have, the principles that they teach, and just really their depth. They got 10 guys playing 20 minutes or more.
Yeah. Mike just mentioned Santi Aldama is leading the Grizzlies in minutes this season. Like you said, 10 guys playing 20 minutes or more. A lot of nights they're going 11 deep, 12 deep. I know rotations are a constant argument on Grizz Twitter. I see you guys arguing on Grizz Twitter. I don't know why, but you're arguing about it.
We call it. I don't even think we call it Grizz. It's like Grizz Dark Web.
I see that. Well, you guys get the Grumpy Grizzlies on the Chris Vernon show to talk about it. But I kind of feel like Taylor Jenkins knows what he's doing. I'm not going to argue with him. Tonight, Taylor Jenkins has a chance to become the winningest coach in franchise history, passing Lionel Hollins. You were here for the Lionel Hollins era. What does he mean? What does Lionel Hollins mean to this city, to this franchise, to this community?
Well, one of the things that, Coach Hollins came in the middle of the season. They fired Mark Ivaroni, and it was thought they didn't know what they were going to do. And Lionel Hollins was mentioned. I believe Ron Tillery wrote about it in the commercial appeal. That he was one of the candidates, and everybody was like, what? Because I believe he was an assistant at the time in Milwaukee at the time. And it was like, they're not going to hire Lionel Hollins. But Michael Heisley knew Lionel Hollins because he used to be a Grizzlies assistant under, I believe, Hubie Brown, Mike Fratello. And then they hired him. Lionel was not always the friendliest with the media. Some coaches aren't that way. Mike Fratello was one who was not friendly with the media. But Mike Fratello, the analyst, very friendly guy. Just, basketball.
It's like Reggie Miller. Now he's an analyst. He's great. When he's a player, not so much.
Yeah, not so much. It's just, I believe, coaches, players that get in that zone. But Lionel Hollins, one of the things, the team had their first playoff win, their first playoff series win, the Western Conference, the Western Conference Finals was, they won the Western Conference Finals with him. All of the first in franchise history, they happened under Lionel Hollins, and he really got them to play. He got them to play together. They had parts, they had pieces, but it never really fit together as a cohesive unit, and he got them to play that way.
And I still hear people talk about what Lionel meant to this city, what people around here. He still lives here, and he's still around and still does stuff, and kind of really helped connect the Grizzlies to the city in a way that maybe it hadn't been done before.
That's absolutely part of it, is that he has embraced Memphis as his home. It's part of why even a guy like Mike Miller is still beloved here, because Mike Miller still has a home here. Obviously the agent for Josh Grant, the agent for Paolo Banchero. He's doing very well for himself there, obviously. He's I think living here and making yourself a part of the community, it holds a lot of weight.
Yeah. Besides producing the Chris Vernon Show, besides doing Grizzlies Radio, which you're doing tonight, besides doing the Odds Couple, besides doing everything else you do around here, we all have 1,000 hats. Besides all those things, you're also the color commentary voice of the Memphis Hustle. You've done that for a few years now, you and Eli. The Hustle are back.
They are.
Had a game last night. They have a game tomorrow morning. Is that right? Wednesday morning.
Tomorrow morning. They had a game. They got their first one of the season.
2 nights ago. Sunday night, yeah.
Sunday night, they got the first one of the season against the Texas Legends. They will play Wednesday morning, Education Day. Education Day.
For who? For you.
You know the show, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
Yeah.
In fact, I am not smarter than a fifth grader.
Come on.
I don't think you are either.
I might not be.
I think if you watch that show,
I might not be.
saw the questions, you would not be smarter than
That's possibly true.
But no, they play tomorrow morning, Education.
A lot of kids will be there at the game.
4,000 of them.
What time's the game start? 10 o'clock?
10:30.
It's on ESPN Plus?
ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
I'm glad I have a headset when you're talking about 4,000 screaming kids. Mac McClung, two-time competition winner. He'll be in town with the OCL The Magic. They play the Magic tomorrow morning, and then they play them again on Friday night at the Landers Center. And then Saturday night, they're also home again against Texas.
So you've been doing the Hustle for a few years now. I think maybe last year was probably the best example of what a G League team can mean to an NBA team. When the Grizzlies were going through with all the injuries and missing everybody else, like we saw so many guys come up from the Hustle and just kind of get plug and play, right? Like, is that sort of the ideal of what a G League franchise can mean to your team?
No, it absolutely can. Look, I mean, I was expecting to have Vince Williams Jr. and Gigi Jackson all year with the Hustle, and by the first month of the season, they were gone and up with, they were up with the Grizzlies all the time. No, it absolutely is. There's a development, and there's a big-time development aspect for it. I'll take it to an example. Armando Bacot.
Yep.
Everybody knows Armando Bacot if you watch college basketball. He's the all-time rebounding leader in North Carolina.
Yeah. Big
program. You might have heard of it before. Armando Bacot's averaging 16 and 11.
Yeah.
Armando Bacot, if the goal was just, hey, do what you do what you're best at, Armando Bacot would be down in the paint, and Armando Bacot would probably score 30 points a game just doing that. But Armando Bacot's going to develop into an NBA player. He's got to be able to knock down some shots on the outside. So you're seeing him take threes, and it's going to be a process for him to be able to develop and make those. But the Grizzlies have shown they are able to develop their players.
Yeah. What's the Yuki Kawamura experience been like? It's early, I know, but we've all seen bits and pieces of it on social media. Like, what's it been like for you to be up close?
Well, apparently I was on SportsCenter's Instagram feed the other night for an assistant.
When you tried that 360 or no?
I never saw it, though.
Okay.
Drew Hill told me to go look for it, and I looked for it, and I couldn't find it. Elizabeth.
Yes.
Elizabeth has told me that my voice is all over Asia right now.
This is amazing.
Our voices are all over Asia right now. We've been through this with Yuta Watanabe.
Yes.
But I think it's even a different level.
You need to go to Japan now, and like you and Eli's voices will be like at the airport, like when you take the train to the
I think
parking deck.
We might have people waiting for us.
That would be awesome.
Waiting for us on the runway.
I'm going with you.
That's how big in Japan we are. Yeah.
You guys are huge in Japan. All right. Well, the Hustle have 1 million games this week. And then they go on the road for a while, right? And then
they're on the road. Yes.
Yeah. And then back here.
Yeah, we're in a span right now, I think, between Grizzlies and Hustle home games, 11 and 15 days or 11 and 14 days. Yeah.
That's a lot. All right, well, if you turn on Grind City Media at pretty much any point, you're likely to see either John Rosa or myself in the next few weeks.
Jackson Pollock.
Yeah, I got my Jackson Pollock polo on. You can catch us on there. We'll be on here tomorrow night, too, on the warm-up show. In the meantime, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come right back here with Michael Wallace, and we're going to get you ready for tip-off. You're watching the warm-up show here on Grind City Media.
Who do you see ending up in the SWAC championship game? So give me your East and your West based on what you see right now.
If I had to say from what I've seen this year so far, I think you're probably going to get a Southern Jackson SWAC championship.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Goldberg announces he's going to have a retirement match in 2025, and he said this on College Game Day.
We know you're trying to ride the coattails because the 2025 is supposed to be the year of John Cena. Goldberg, I have a message for you, my guy. We don't care about your retirement match. Your retirement match was 3 years ago. Go somewhere, go away.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Now every time you go to Miami, you can go see, like, that's a statue of me there.
No, I don't look nothing like that thing, man. Look,
I would have been offended.
That is you, T.A.
Oh, my God.
That is Cody.
Oh, look. Hey, y'all got to get that screenshot, man. Put that on the...
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
The three big beats this week. One was root for points in honor of John Roser. How about that Miami-Louisville game?
Good
Crushed
grief.
the over, which was 60. Finished with 97 total points, 52-45. Meanwhile, the Academy's covering again, both Army and Navy, getting the job done.
This.
Army, best start since 96.
America.
Navy crushed Charlotte. They're ranked 23rd and 24th in the country.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back to the warm-up show here on Grind City Media. We are courtside live at FedEx Forum. He's Michael Wallace. I'm Lang Whitaker. We're getting you ready for tip-off. The Grizzlies and the Nuggets are about to get going in 37 minutes. Grizzlies going for their 5th straight home win and their first win in the NBA Cup. We're going to go around the NBA like we always do at this time and talk about some topics from around the league.
But first, let me interrupt you. But first, and you might have gotten to this with Roser, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't on here, but I do want to say we could start with Taylor Jenkins being tied.
We talked about it.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
good,
Roser and I actually talked about what, because Roser was here during the Lionel Hollins era.
Yes,
So we talked about what Lionel Hollins meant to this city, to this franchise, to this team, and all that. So Taylor has a chance tonight to become the all-time winningest coach in Grizzlies history,
There you
which
go.
would be something cool.
All right, cool.
I wanted to ask you to talk about winning coaches. The Lakers we saw this week.
Yeah.
We've seen all these statues get announced. The Lakers announced they're going to put up a Pat Riley statue outside Crypto.com Forum Staples Center, whatever it is. They're going to do a Pat Riley statue coming soon. We've seen some statues be hits. We've seen some be misses. What do you think about the Lakers honoring Pat Riley via statue?
The Lakers have statues all over the place down there around Crypto.com Arena right now. I mean, it's like Statue Alley. They got Kareem, Kobe, Shaq, just
Chick
Jerry
Hearn.
West, Chick Hearn. They just, and then a couple of hockey guys too.
Yeah.
Right, I think they got Gretzky, right?
Do they? I don't know.
They have some, a couple of hockey.
Did he play
players.
hockey? Sorry, not a hockey guy.
But I mean, so Pat Riley does deserve to go in.
Yeah.
Obviously. And so if you're going to put Pat Riley in, then guess what? Guess who else is coming after that? Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
You can't go Pat Riley without Phil Jackson. Those guys both won.
That was my question to you is going to be like who, okay, after Phil, is there anyone left that the Lakers haven't done? Like, I mean, who that franchise won a lot, but they've also done a lot of statues. Like, I don't know.
There's no one left.
Since Kobe, like, there's no one really left from the current group.
And I guess depending on what LeBron accomplishes from he's
maybe.
got to probably win one more to get a statue, right?
Yeah.
He'll get the jersey retired.
He might get one just because he's LeBron.
Yeah. So I mean, but other than that, we're running out
they,
of guys.
They put his son on the team. Like, that's kind of nice enough, like
that's a statue right there.
Sort of. Another news we heard this week. Inside the NBA is returning next year. We had heard that the TV deals were going to change, licensing deals, all that stuff was going to be different next year. No one's really sure what that was going to mean. But we saw this week that ESPN is going to license Inside the NBA. So it'll appear on ESPN and ABC starting next season via a partnership with TNT Sports and the NBA. At the end of the day, Charles, Shaq, Kenny, and Ernie are still going to be with us next year. What does that mean to you? You excited to keep them around?
I am, man. I am. I mean, it's hard to watch a basketball season in the NBA without their voices, right? I mean, they're synonymous with the NBA now, just because of what they talk about off the cuff. Like, I don't go to that show for analytics and information. I just go to it to see, like, old man get off my lawn stuff, right? Yeah. The synergy that they have, and like you and I have both been around those guys, right? In person, you work there, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you know what that office structure is like. And, good. I'm glad that it worked out. ESPN is being being smart about it. And hopefully everything comes together for the numbers because these guys deserve to get paid.
Hopefully,
they're going to get paid.
Hopefully,
what's going to happen to ESPN's problem?
Yeah, I don't know.
Their countdown show.
I don't know. I mean, they don't really have much of a post-game show as it is. The game's in, they kind of just go right to Sports Center, you know. So maybe, hopefully, they give these guys time and space and let them do their thing. The story I always tell is one night we were there and Shaq in the green room comes out. He has a briefcase, one of those metal briefcases. He goes, guys, I want you guys to watch this movie my friends and I made, a gangster movie. So we all kind of start gathering around, and Shaq pulls a laptop out, sets it up, gets it going, and he goes, you guys might want to grab a chair. It's about 50 minutes long. And then I was like, no, I'm good. I left. But I always told people, Shaq, Charles, Kenny, those guys are 100% the same as they are off the air as they are on the air. Like that's what makes it work to me, is like it's them. And they're not putting on anything, and they're just being themselves. And hopefully they get to keep doing that. I mean, no one's going to tell them not to do that at this point.
Right, and they can do it as long as they want to do it.
Yeah.
And especially for Ernie, man. Ernie was not going to go over to anywhere else because, I mean, that was a legacy place for him at TNT, and thankfully he'll get to continue his career.
Ernie's dad announced the Braves games when I was a kid. Yeah, and so Ernie's been around forever. Last thing tonight, the 15-0 Cavaliers are playing the Boston Celtics. Chance for the Celtics are 11-3 going into this. Do you think the Cavs finally get a loss? It's right now. I'll give you. It's 20 to 14 Celtics in the first quarter.
I mean, I picked the Celtics before the game.
Okay.
Right? So I picked the Celtics before the game because this is the kind of game at home where they get a chance, even as a defending champion, to make a statement early in the season. And I think they want to make a statement that, hey, this team is good. They got off to a historic start, but we're still the champs. I think this is the game where they end the streak. But would it surprise me if Cleveland came back? No, it wouldn't. They want to show that they are a legitimate threat, and they deserve it.
I thought Cleveland was going to lose it the other night. They sat Donovan Mitchell for a game and somebody else, and they were like, all right, we're going to kind of like just let it go. And they won anyway without those guys. Like right now they're rolling. But I think for a team like the Celtics, coming off a title, like you need every once in a while a little bit of motivation. And for a chance to take down a 15-0 team at home, like this is, I think, exactly probably what Joe Mazzulla is looking for. And,
yes.
The Celtics are looking
and here's the thing to that too, Lang. Like I was in Miami covering that Miami Heat team when they won, when they were chasing that 34-game winning streak that the Lakers had. They got to 27. And people say, okay, all right, take a loss here, end it, take the mental rest, the rest and all of those kind of things. When you have a chance to make history, you go for it. A win tonight will put Cleveland as one of only two teams to start a season 16-0. And if you can come back and win this game, hey, go as far as you can go. Like you go out there to win the game, right? So at some point, you want to win it if you can.
And shout out the Cavs. I mean, it's pretty much the same team they had last year. They're just
except all of them are healthy right now.
Yeah, they're all healthy. They're playing great. So, all right, got about a minute and a half before we're out of here. Give me one matchup to watch tonight.
I want to see, what it's a match. It's not necessarily a matchup,
a player,
but I want to see what Taylor Jenkins does at that center spot without Zach Edey now, right? The pressure's not there to play the rookie. How does he rotate? I need Brandon Clark to have a breakout type game. He's been a starter for a while now. I think he needs to show, hey, this is why I got picked to start right now. I think Brandon Clark is the guy I want to watch.
Or maybe we get a J-Huff revenge game. Former Denver Nugget.
He's a former everything, it seems like.
It's always a revenge game for J-Huff.
What are you looking at? What's your matchup?
The same thing. Roser mentioned Bain went for 11-7-7 the last game. Like maybe tonight we see him go out a little bit more, break out a little more. Also, I think Santi's due for one of those games. He hasn't had one in a while.
True.
One of those 20-plus point games. So.
All right. So I go Brandon Clark. You go.
I'll go Santi.
Santi. Okay.
Santi
all right.
All right. So tonight you can flip over now to FanDuel Sports Network, catch the game there. You can listen on ESPN 92.9. You can watch the game on TV. You can tune in after the game for the Grind City Rewind. And then tomorrow night, we'll be right here. Well, I'll be right here back with you again. Same time when the Grizzlies take on the Philadelphia 76ers. If you haven't got tickets yet, you can go get them. Anyway, tune in for the game tonight. We appreciate you rocking with us. We'll be back tomorrow night. You've been watching the warm-up show here on Grind City Media.